Thank you. All right, good morning, church. How are you going? Yes, as Tristan said, my name is Jacob. I work here as a youth pastor. I've been here for, I believe, about a year. I'm enjoying it really. I have been enjoying it a lot so far. So just to get started, this is the fourth week of the James Challenge. So you've been following along on the YouVersion app, or just you've been here every week. Good on you. I haven't. But this is the fourth week, and this is the Source of Wisdom week. This is James 3:12-18. Thank you, Charlotte. I think she's gone out already. But yeah, thank you, Charlotte, for reading that. That was awesome. But yeah, so I just want to paint the picture for you guys. Who needs wisdom in their life today? Yeah, all of you pretty much. Who would like the best wisdom possible in their life? Should be all of you guys. I just want you guys to think about someone that comes to mind in your life when you think about someone that is constantly working or thinking in kingdom wisdom, like someone who comes to mind. For me, it's my dad. He's old. That's not because he's wise, but he's just someone that I think he was always practicing kingdom wisdom. He's always focusing on God when he's talking about his wisdom and stuff like that. But I want you guys just to think just for a second, how different would your life be if every decision you made came and you seeked God first, and you're in the presence of God, and then you act on that decision? How different would your life look today if that's how we made every decision in our life? If we were constantly seeking the presence of God. I'm just going to tell a quick story about a friend that actually kind of did that for that. That seeked God first in a very stressful time, which I was very surprised about. But it's a friend called Kieran. We've led together on heaps of camps, and this one story just sticks out for me. It's we're actually at Collaroy, we're on the oval, and unfortunately a kid had fallen, he'd knocked himself out, and the whole kind of camp went into panic mode for a second. Obviously the nurses are running around, they're freaking out. We've just had like a kid just knock himself unconscious on a slide. And obviously the kids are a bit nervous, they're a bit scared. But I looked up onto the balcony, I saw my friend Kieran, and he just started praying. He just started praying, and he just seeked God first. He's there surrounded with a bunch of 8 to 12-year-old kids that he's been leading this week at camp. And the first thing he does, instead of just panic and take his kids away, he just stops. He looks at the oval with all of his kids around him, and he starts praying. And he was that witness to the kids. That was massive for me. It was one of my first camps, and I just looked up and I was like, oh wow, he's got his stuff in order. He seeked God first, he prayed about it first, and then he moves on and makes those decisions then. So there's two things that really stick out for me about that story. Is that the first thing is he seeks God first in prayer. He doesn't panic, he doesn't do anything, but he just seeks God first. And then, therefore, he's in the presence of God while he's acting. And he's got the presence of God and the kingdom wisdom he needs when he's acting on that. So my main point today, there's only one main point, it's going to be nice and short and sweet today, is that we need to be seeking God to be in the presence of God, to be finding kingdom wisdom today. Now, when you guys read that Bible verse, lots of you guys would agree that the best kind of wisdom comes from heaven. We'd all agree with that, but how often are we acting on that? How often are we making that our first priority when we are seeking wisdom? When we are seeking advice or counsel, how often do we turn to God first instead of trying to do it ourselves? See, the wisdom that comes from God, the kingdom of God wisdom, is pure. It says it's pure, peace-loving, considerate, submissive, merciful, bears good fruit, all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of wisdom that you should all want and be hungry for. The kingdom of earth wisdom, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. It's sinful, it's thinking about ourselves first, it's just the complete opposite of what we want in life. And when we refer to that, when we just go back to that kingdom of earth wisdom, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're doing a disservice not only us, but also God. And we need to just take a bit of a reality check and think about this. For the kingdom, where shall we find my wisdom? So why does that matter for you guys? Why does that matter? Why should you be searching kingdom wisdom first always? As Christians, we're called to be hungry for the kingdom wisdom and not just being satisfied with what we can do on our own. We should be hungry for the glimpses of God that we can get in our lives And we should also know that we can't do it on our own mark. We should We should be wanting the best, even more so when it comes to wisdom. No one in life likes bad advice, let alone bad wisdom. It's just not a good one. Also, and one of the main reasons is that when you are in kingdom wisdom and you're pressing into God and you're in the presence of God, you bear fruit. And that's just not only in your wisdom, that's just in your life, that's in your family, it's in your church. You're bearing kingdom fruit. That's what we should be wanting for and hungry for as Christians. That's why it matters. So we see this in the Bible in verse 17 of that. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, then considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit. That's the kind of wisdom that we should be hungry for in life. We shouldn't just be satisfied every time for what we can do on our own. We should be hungry for the kingdom wisdom. So you might ask, how can we apply this into our lives? And I think everyone right here today, I was going to give you guys a second just to think about someone, something, a situation in your life. Could be a friend group, could be a person, could be a relationship, whatever, that you need wisdom for right now, going into this week. So I wanted to give you guys a second just to think about that. Could be a person, something massive, something small, could be a friendship. I just want you to think about that for a second. Early on in James 1:5, it says, if any of you guys lack wisdom, you should ask God first, who gives generously to all without fault, and it'll be given to you. If we just think about it for a second, if any of you lack wisdom, it should be all of us, you should ask God first. You should come to God first, always. Who gives generously to all without finding fault in them, and it will be given to you. That's massive. Like, the fact that whatever we're going through in life, whatever situation we're in, if we come to God first, He will give us wisdom. He will give us the strength, the wisdom we need to get out of that situation. All right, so right now, as you guys have thought about that person or thing or whatever you're going through in life right now, we're actually just going to have a time just to pray over that situation. When you're praying, I just wanted you guys to ask for kingdom wisdom to lead you through those situations. I want you to press into the Spirit of God right now and just ask for just kingdom wisdom. I'm just going to give you guys 2 to 3 minutes to pray over that. All right, thank you. All right, so 2 things about that. In the presence of God, that's where we can find kingdom wisdom. I'm actually going to do something a little bit more practical, though, about that. So for you guys that have a phone that has an alarm on it, which is, I guess, hopefully a lot of you, I want you just to grab that out of your pocket right now. And I actually want you guys to set a recurring alarm this week at, I'm going to go, for me, 9 o'clock is mine. But if you're someone who is lucky enough to get to bed by 8, do it for 7:30. And gosh, good on you guys for getting to bed that early. But yeah, I just want you guys every day this week, just to pray over that situation. If it's a situation that you're battling through with someone, could be a loved one, could be a partner, whatever, invite them to pray with you at that time. Don't go through this battle alone or anything like that, but every night this week, and if you don't have an alarm or whatever set, just every night this week, I want you to pray for the situation you prayed for today. The reason that we do that, and I want you guys to do that, is it's all about habit. It's all about getting into the habit of you guys seeking God first. When you get into a habit, it becomes natural. And then when you're faced with other situations, it's going to be natural for you to turn to God first and get into the presence of God. And there you're going to find true wisdom. So, if you can leave anything, like if you can leave today and remember nothing, I want you to remember one thing. That is, in the presence of God, you find true wisdom. I'm going to say that one more time. In the presence of God, you're going to find true wisdom. That's going to be that is the source of wisdom. Now, we all know that, but it's about doing it. You can keep that alarm on for 15 years if you like, and just get into that practice. And and just do it every day. All right, cheers. Tristan's going to lead you guys in worship. I think we're good.